Hello. So good to see all of you here tonight. This is a very special occasion, and I am excited about what is about to go down. My name is Asana Hanu. I am the host for this evening. I am also the founder and coordinator of the Jambalaya Soul Slam and resident artist here at the Hayti Heritage Center. Make some noise for this wonderful, beautiful venue. This is an African American Cultural Center. It is a historic landmark, and it is a marker of the historic Hayti community, one of this country's Black Wall Streets. And so we're so honored that this is our home and that they have allowed for art and culture and poetry to be able to thrive here. We have been here since 2005, y'all. Yeah, make some noise for that. This is officially our 18th Grand Slam Finals. And this is a very special occasion because we are a member of an organization called Southern Fried. And Southern Fried Poetry Slam Incorporated runs the Southern Fried Poetry Festival. At one point in time, it was the largest regional poetry slam in the country. It is now the largest poetry slam in the country. And it actually got started now 32 years ago in Asheville, North Carolina. They started it as a haven for Southern poetry because participating in what was then the National Poetry Slam, it felt like that there wasn't room given the Southern voices. And so here we are 32 years later. It is actually the organization that has survived while the national one has not. How about that? But we will be headed to Knoxville, Tennessee in June for competition. And tonight we will find out what group of poets will represent the Triangle and Bull City at that competition. So that is why Grand Slam Finals is so exciting. So I'll be your guide through the night. I'll be letting you know more about the slam and what we do and all of that. And we've got some, I don't think y'all ready, because tonight we have invited the best performing poets in terms of both work and content and presence on stage, but also the poets who have earned the best scores, which means that the crowd has responded to them the best. We've brought them back to duke it out here for you tonight, and that is going to be amazing. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. So, a little bit of housekeeping. First thing, go ahead and check your phones. Go ahead and check your phones. Go ahead and check your phones. Let's make sure they're on silent or vibrate. We do not want your ringtone going off in the middle of somebody's soliloquy about last time their heart was broken. Felt like my heart was being ripped out my chest. No. Second thing, we are in what used to be a sanctuary. You see the stained glass windows, but if you need to step out, please do, right? Just quietly. We don't even need a church finger. Just slide on out the pews and out the door. This is the exit back into the lobby. Bathrooms are down and to the left. So, third, takes a lot of effort for folks to get up here on this stage and perform for y'all. So every person that gets called up to the stage, you want to clap them to the stage and clap for them when they leave. Let's try that right now. Make some noise. Oh, I love it. I love it. The energy is high in here. Oh, this is going to be a good night. Oh, yeah. So good you got that down pat. Now, one of the things that we do on the poetry scene here, especially across North Carolina, is that if you see someone struggling in a moment, because these poems come from a very, very real and vulnerable place. If we see someone struggling, what we do is we take our hands, we put them together, and we rub them, right? We fill this room with kinetic energy, right? It also sends a tingle into you. Everybody gets to feel good, and we just let them know, it's okay, poet, take your time. We're here with you, right? We want to welcome and love on these poets so that they can get through each and every poem, and that is one of the ways we do it, all right? Now, here's the other thing. We do not want you to sit there and stare at the poet spitting the poem on stage. It's a little off-putting and unusual, okay? This is an interactive experience, okay? You can respond. All right now. You know, all of that is totally welcome. Whatever the poem makes you do, let it out. Now, if it makes you do a whole lot, don't do that. We didn't ask for all that. We didn't need all the extra, okay? Instead, what you do is snap. Right? We snap. Snap during, clap after. All right? Some of you are old, some of you are a little wiser, been around a little longer. Don't snap after these damn poems. It's not Love Jones. I'm going to keep reminding people that was 1997. I know, right? All the folks who are a little wiser in the tooth was like, oh, damn, 97? Oh, Jesus. I know, right? I know. I do the same thing. I'm like, 97? Damn. Okay. Also, just so you know, you're going to hear adult words. Just so you're sure. Okay? So you came, you obviously walked in the door, which means that you understand these are grown folks, and there may be some adult words. All right? So I'm just go ahead and get that out the way and let you know now. There will be some. I'm pretty sure at some point in time. All right? Shit, I just wanted to see if anybody ran for the door. Okay, all right, y'all are all right, cool, okay, good. But it's all in the midst of the art. All right, now, what we need right now is if there is any poet, hold on, have y'all done Bow Draw? No. If there's any poets who are participating in the competition, y'all go out there and see Wendy. Yep, y'all go see Wendy. It's time for Bout Draw. So any of our poets who are participating in the competition, it's time for Bout Draw. For those out there who are wondering why I just sent them out the room, in this competition, we decide the first round of competition, the order for the first round, through random draw. So they have to go out, make sure they understand the rules, and do the Bout Draw. Now, there's another part of making this competition work that we will discuss in just a moment. And but first, I got a little treat for you. Now, every once in a while, we have some poets from out of town who kind of come through to the city, poets that we have met and heard and gotten to know over the years, from our poets myself traveling around the country. And tonight we do have a special poet in town, has been on the East Coast from Las Vegas for a while, and I want to invite him up to come do 2 poems for y'all. Is that okay? Now he's going to come, he's going to spit for y'all, get y'all, this is our libation for the moment tonight. He's going to tell you about the work that he's traveling with. He's on a book tour, and so I want y'all to show a lot of Durham love to Mr. A.J. Houston.
What's up? How y'all doing? Mic check. Mic sound. Oh, okay, we're ready. Have anybody actually looked up Hayti to see what it is or where it's from or anything about it? Well, see, I need you to look it up because, see, I have a show and I talk about Freedmanstown. And in America, I know Texas, there was over 357 Freedmanstowns, and there's 0 right now. But the best thing about Durham is that Haiti's name is everywhere. Hayti was named after Haiti, and reminiscent of Haiti. So Hayti was named after Haiti, but Hayti had over 200 flourishing black businesses until they built a highway through the middle and eminent domain a couple of properties, and they say the people began to move out, but it's hard to move out when they're taking your land. So however you want to say it, America has nice language for things. So I want you to look it up because this is where you're from, and this is the best thing I've seen, because everywhere else I've been, if there was a Freedmanstown, you had to look on the ground to see if there was a sign or behind a building. It wasn't on the name of a place. It wasn't on the name of a building. So this is amazing. My name is A.J. Houston. I'm on the Black Trilogy tour. I say Black Trilogy because there's 3 black books. First is the Black Book of Black. It's a black book, black pages. This is bridging the gap from our arrival to our right now. And I thought this would be it, but then it wasn't. So I had to do the second book is Still Black, black book, black pages. So the first poem I'm reading is out of Still Black. And then this is the newest book. This is the reason I had to go on tour, because this book's the Lost Book of Black. It's 496 pages of poetry. Hardcover only. And 496 pages because I couldn't put all the poems in it because it would have been 500 pages. My partner told me the book was going to be 500 pages. I couldn't let him rewrite. But anyway, this is, so the first poem I'm reading is out of the book Still Black. The title of the poem is Black Girl. And I want you to know that I did not write these poems by myself. I would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I know Harriet was there, and I think Harriet, and I remember Carver asked me something, and I remember when Booker T told me something. It was some ancestors there when I wrote these poems, so don't blame me for the words. That's all I'm saying. Black girl. So my name is AJ Houston. I'm AJ Ward on IG. I have on IG today was show 458 in a row. For 458 days in a row, I go live at 7:07 a.m. Pacific. Have a full-fledged conversation about voting, about Freedmen's Towns, about sundown towns, about why we need to vote, about the killings in America. But I don't talk about black men because America does a good job at that. But 458 days in a row. So follow me on IG, and we're 7:07. And definitely, this is the Black Trilogy Tour. I'm here with my baby. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate the sound for inviting me up. So let's get this slam going. Y'all ready?
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Y'all give it up for AJ. Before you leave, if you see him, make sure you talk to him. Find out about the book. All right. I see the poets walking back in here. That means we've got order for the first round. We got folks in the audience. We're about to have a good time. Now, there's something special necessary in order to make this poetry slam work. And what we need are people who feel judgery. I love it. Don't worry, I got you. I'm glad you already realized. Oh, I saw a hand back there. Okay, all right, I see two hands. Those are folks who oh, okay. All right, there's three hands. There's three folks who've been here before and understand what's going on. All right. Oh, damn. All right. Okay, well, that was quick. This is probably the quickest this has ever happened in life. Now, hold on. Let me make sure. None of you are associated with any of the poets participating in the competition, right? Beautiful. All right. Well, damn. Okay, so what I need to have happen is I got to figure out how to get some materials upstairs. So usually there's at least one ally downstairs. Oh, you know what, Coco? You know what? Hold on. Take the eraser. They'll need that. Hold on. Actually, since they can't, there's no way. Take two just in case. Yeah, because. All right. So what I will do is I'll make my way around and make sure we get these. And then I'll tell everybody what they just volunteered for in case anybody is wondering what's happening here. Do that. Hey there. Man. All right. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hold on. Where? Oh, there, I'll say, hold on. All right. So let me explain what just happened. So Poetry Slam is a competitive spoken word event that started as a bar game and was created in the 80s. And we have been participating in this game ever since. It is a game where the points are supposed to be not about the points. It's supposed to be about the poetry, but to be completely honest, it's about both. We're not going to keep perpetrating this lie. It is also about the poetry, mostly about the poetry, but we wouldn't be competing if it was not also about the points. And what you just saw was you just saw me hand 5 scorecards to the folks who are going to be our judges for tonight. Since the 80s, the judges of the competition have been picked out of the audience. We don't bring special judges in. This is not America's Got Talent. It's not a panel that sits. We don't have feedback after. That is not what we do. This is an interactive experience with the audience, and we pick them right out the audience. So now what's going to happen is each poet is going to be called to the stage. They have 3 minutes to deliver their poem, right? They get a 10-second grace period, and unfortunately, after that, they will lose points for going over time. Yes, boo the time. We don't like linear time. We hate it, actually. We're poets. But it is necessary for the sake of the competition, and so that's what we're going to do. Now, Y'all don't need to keep track of time or score. I'll tell you who's going to do that in just a moment, but just know that we may possibly, hopefully not at all, I would love to get through the entire night without one, have a time penalty. If I come back to the stage and say that there is a time penalty, what you're going to say in response is, "You rat bastard, you ruined it for everyone, but it was well worth it." That is a part of our slam tradition. That's right. We do not like linear time. Okay. Now, each one of these judges are going to score each poem on a scale from 0 to 10 Olympic style, right? With the decimal, because we do not have time for ties. Matter of fact, around these parts, yeah, that is actually detrimental to the poets, because if they get tied, they do not advance. We say goodbye to them. So we don't play with ties. So use decimal points so we don't have to get in that situation. When you are writing your score on the scorecard, judges, here's what I need you to do. I want you to write your score from left to right, and then hold it up facing me so that the first numeral before the decimal point is here, and the second numeral is over here. If I feel like it may be strange, I'll ask you, double check, but just so you know. So, 0 is the most horrific thing that ever existed, right? It turned off all the lights in your house, right? Put sugar in your gas tank, called your job, cussed your boss out, right? Ate all the food in your refrigerator, kicked your dog, and told your grandma that you don't love them. That's a 0. If the poem doesn't make you feel like that, you probably should not be scoring around down that area, all right? By the same token, a 10 is the most amazing thing that's ever happened to you. It paid all your bills, planned a vacation, it rubs your feet, it cooks a 5-course, 5-star meal, it plans in advance, it understands your moods, it cleans the house, it understands and listens. All your family members love it. Like, it works out regularly, it eats healthy. Like, that's a 10. If the poem makes you feel that, then boom, that's where you need to score at, right? The only thing we ask of you judges is be consistent. You're going to hear a number of poems over the course of this night before we're done, and we just ask that you are consistent about how you feel about the poem. Go with your gut, but be consistent, right? If you like it better, score higher. If you like it about the same, score about the same. If you like it less, score less. But be consistent. Don't get excited. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't get lost. Be consistent. You have the power. Audience, you just watched me give 5 random people scorecards. We cannot sit and watch unbridled power. There has to be checks and balances. So here's the thing. There's 5 of them. After each poem, we're going to be 5 scores rated. I'm going to call them from low to high. We're going to drop the lowest one, right? We're going to drop the highest one and add the middle 3 together, and that is going to be the poet score for the round, which means that there will always be a low score. Here's the thing that you get to do. Influence the judges. How? You're going to clap when you think they've done a good job scoring. But when you think they've done a bad job, and at least once after every poem you're going to get to do this, you get to boo the judges. Boo they ass. Boo them with all the angst in your spirit. Boo them with everything you have been holding inside of you all week. Boo them the way you wanted to boo the person sitting next to you at the work. Boo them, people who don't know how to act on Zoom calls. Boo them like the folks who always want to do a Zoom call. I got stuff to do. I don't want to Zoom with you. This could be a phone call. Boo them like the person who cut you off in the line at the store and they only got one item. Don't you know what I'm saying? They always think it's okay because they only got one item. Look at you. No! I ain't that. No! Yeah, that's it. Ain't that. Boo them. Judges. I just want to give them a false sense of confidence. Hey, down with the people. Let them eat cake. Y'all have the power. Ignore them. Ignore their boos. Let them boo. They just mad because they ain't you. Audience, you see how they laugh? They love the power. Don't let them get away with it. It's a battle of wills that goes on all night. Y'all understand? Now, y'all make some notes for Wendy Jones, my slam coordinator over here. She will be keeping track of time and score, and so you will not have to worry about that or do anything with that. So, now you understand how this is going to go. You understand the rules. We have 11 poets who are going to be competing. We'll have 11 of them perform in the first round. We will have to say goodbye to 3 of them. Yeah, there is elimination. And we will have 8 in the second round. And unfortunately, we've got to say goodbye to 2 more. We will have 6 in the final round. And then we will crown our Grand Slam champion and see who makes the team. Y'all ready for a poetry slam? Poets, are y'all ready for a poetry slam? I think there is something that needs to happen first. There must be a sacrifice. Sacrifice to the poetry gods. Blood must be spilled on this stage before we begin. I know it just got real morbid and strange real quick. I know. Judges, what this is we call this a calibration poet. It's a poet who's going to come and perform. After they get done, you're going to give the poem a score just as if they were in the competition, even though they aren't. It is a way for us to practice how this is going to go down, all right? So when this poet gets done, write your score, raise it in the air. I'm going to call them out from low to high. We're going to add them together, give that poet a score, and then from there on, you use that to calibrate your scoring for the night. Like a poem better, score higher. Like about the same, score about the same. Like it less, score it less, all right? Of course, at some point in time, you're just going to go with your instincts, all right? So everybody else, we're poets. So, of course, we have renamed the calibration poet a sacrificial lamb because we're strange. And, of course, we cannot start a slam without blood being spilled in order to christen the stage. Can y'all imagine? We've been saying this in this sanctuary since 2005. Just every time I look over there, Jesus looking at me holding the lamb like, and they just read it in the stained glass windows. It's nice and clear over there. I'm just like, he understands my heart. All right, so we're going to bring our calibration poet to the stage. Y'all please put your hands together and welcome Coco Flo.
There's this thing I do when I walk into new professional spaces. It seems weird to most people, but it happens quite naturally at this point. I look around and I count the number of women in a space. The ratio, typically uneven, has become the norm to me as I gaze around. I wonder if the women in these settings ever feel caged, chained to the standards of patriarchy. If when they speak, their voices get swaddled in a sea of baritone. I question if their spirits are draped in fatigue from fighting to fit into this boys' club. There's this thing I do when I walk into a slam. It seems weird to most people, but it happens quite naturally at this point. I look around and I count the number of women poets in a space. The ratio, typically uneven, has become the norm to me. I see women who have found themselves in confinement, whose voices continue to be trampled on in a crowd of masculinity. I ponder if they ever feel alone like I do. The stage is my sanctuary. Slam is my sport of choice. The place I come to shatter, to be my most authentic self, to show up, to share, to sacrifice. Yet I notice women don't stay in this sport too long. It's like our voices have an expiration date, or maybe we get tired of turning up the sound of our trauma just to be heard at the same level as the men around us. We fight, hoping our femininity weighs enough and that we won't become just another woman's story swept under a stage, another film silenced by scrutiny and scores. I once heard a male poet say, Coco only scores well in these spaces because she's the only woman. As if I don't give y'all all this Angela Bassett for 3 minutes and 10 seconds every time, but I wonder if he knows how often I scream, where are all the women, only to be gifted back the sound of my own echo. I can't tell you how many times my feet have found themselves on the starting block, ready to sprint out of this lopsided scene. So I ask, where do women go to be free when even our safe haven on stages don't always hold space for us? How even when we find ourselves in slam surrounded by all women, it's hard to celebrate, knowing that when it's over, for some of us, it's back to male-dominated slam spaces. A sanctuary is never supposed to be a place you go to feel bound. It's supposed to be where you go to shout your way free. So it's time we stop running, stop being afraid, stop trying to play the background when there are stages with your name on it. Nobody can tell a woman's story but one. So I say, fuck your scores. There are women out here looking for someone like me to relate to. The world has groomed us to be polite, told us be seen and not heard, but we are here and we will be heard. 1 or 1,000, our stories will continue to find their rightful place on stage. There's this thing I do when I walk into a space and I see there's a lack of women's faces. I prepare my kerosene tongue, strike a match with my confidence, and burn that motherfucker down.
All right, judges, I think everybody understands how this goes now. Go ahead and raise those scores up. Come on, judges. Yeah, hold it up with confidence. And they're up. And okay. All right. From low to high. In Poets, I hope you can see. This is what this microphone sounds like. 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 So just understand what you need to do with this mic. All right. From low to high, we have a 7.9. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Woo. All right. Just boo once, okay? We ain't going to be here all night because y'all want to boo. You're going to get to boo at least once every time, okay? All right. So it's a 7.9, 8.3, 9.5, a 10, and a 10. 27.8 for the poet. Y'all applaud the poet. All right. Locked, you are up next. Y'all please put your hands together and welcome LB to the stage.
My very first breath was taken in the early hours of December the 1st. My very first word, according to my dad, was none other than hallelujah. And the very first thing that I could ever remember learning is simply that God is love. Now, my very first accident was biting a battery in half, and it's something about the way it shocks the breath out of you. Growing older, I still would have a taste for electricity, and I felt like I can control the current if I always stayed grounded, so my confident heart made me feel like I can do the improbable. Like the very first time that I told a girl that God is love, so baby, I God you. And y'all, she laughed. And that laughter hit like a fistful of atheism. It swallowed my breathing so bad that I couldn't verbally exhale the highest praises again for 2 years. This taught me then my emotions are asthmatic. And how much like breathing love truly is. How fluid separation can be when words only float on air and there was no one around to solve me a reason to stop sinking into my own silence. But even when I couldn't speak, God taught me to just wave my hand. Because actions always spoke louder than words. Like when the very first girl told me that she loved me and meant it. Yo, it sounded like my very first hallelujah. Together we learned that our heartbeat is the instrumental to how true worship should feel. But when our music stopped, she danced around the pieces of my broken heart like David, removing every part of me until she was naked enough to find out that God is love, even when you are not loving. When she told me it was over, I found myself in silence again. And with no words to say, all I can do is remember, and I just waved my hand. Isn't it funny how a cry for God to save you and then goodbye could look exactly the same? How her name was braille to me now. Every time it touches my tongue, I can still feel the Judas in her goodbye. Her name, it sounds a lot like 30 pieces of silver. Do you have any idea what it cost me to teach my heart to stop beating in the syllables of her name? Now I know what a goodbye feels like, fighting to get out of my chest. Now I know what it feels like to fight a goodbye out of my chest. It feels like a fight song, like 2 syllables. I love, you don't, backstab, fuck you, fight song, please stay, don't leave. No matter how bad being stabbed hurts you, it always hurts worse pulling your lover's sharpness out of your life. Cupid's arrow was never designed to be removed, especially when you love like breathing. You see, the problem with having asthmatic emotions is that you focus too much on trying to catch your breath when you should be learning to just let it go.
Judges. Oh, don't wait. Just raise them up. Just raise them up. Just raise them up whenever you get them. Hey, hold on. No, let me get that. All right. From low to high, I have an 8.5. I have an 8.8. I have an 8.7, a 9.3, and a 9.8 for the poet. I'm sorry. That's a 26.8 for the poet. Y'all applaud the poet. Lonnie, you are up next. Y'all, please put your hands together and welcome Locked to the stage.
My sister and I always replied that the ghetto was not a place but a mentality. Not strictly a physical vicinity of overcrowded streets or apartment buildings wrapped, stacked, and packed to capacity. No longer simply a black, yellow, or red hue, but it's pink too. Yes, pink true. It's been expanded to include your mother, your daughter, your sister, and wife too. Not just on the street corner, but in the boardroom. Women being downgraded, ostracized by the mere fact that their estrogen is high, but still we rise. To break down and debunk the myth that our intellect is not enough to present that of the same caliber of those who represent that of greater testosterone, forgetting that within woman was once their home. So far from the remembrance that man and women is so very similar, just one rib less. But now you press on getting bound, giving women so much less than the honor and respect that she deserves, but our voices will be heard. For the dictionary says that the ghetto is a place of minority and poverty and overpopulation. But if we live on this earth together, ain't no separation. When you're looking down from outer space with just a human race, and the world is a ghetto Whether it's in a third world country or the third rung from the top of the financial ladder, it doesn't matter. This issue stretches from him to her, from me to you. It's true. There's pink ghettos everywhere, from every city, every country, continent, and hemisphere. These issues are real, but they can't stay here. For the truth is, as Sojourner Truth said, what time of night is this when we have to tell our youth in the 2010s plus 10, though we are far from women's suffrage, women are still suffering. And not just ones with tint to the color of their skin being considered 3/4 of a person. See, we are not little girls anymore, only good for what we're taught, but we're making advancements in every school of thought. We are not mere objects anymore. We determine our own value. The choice is no longer yours. We are not mere machines here to produce the next generation of humanity. Listen, we are not just your personal assistants, cooks, or maids, but we are soldiers fighting for regime change. No longer will the patriarch run these mind games, and no longer will our voices be silenced or our dreams be slain. For as a presidential hopeful once said, feminism is not dead, so let female freedom ring. And that's why I sing that the ghetto is in every place, in every country. The barrio is in every place, in every country. When you look around, do you see your mother? When you look around, this issue affects us all. You live in this pink ghetto too, yeah, yeah.
All right, judges. All right. Florida High, we have a 7.1. We have a 7.8, an 8.7. Yep. A 9.2 and a 9.4 for the poet. For a score of 26.7 for the poet. Y'all applaud the poet. Breeze, you are up next. Y'all, please welcome Lonnie to the stage.
White folk been dressing, projecting their racist agendas everywhere they could from the moment they got here. See, the white man think he's God. Named colonialism and genocide his manifest destiny. His God-given right broke bread over indigenous blood and made a national celebration of it all. Turned a Friday on the auction block into a shopping spree. Even King James got a Bible written to his liking. White man think he a savior. See, white America got away with packaging their violence. Gives white academia in exchange for their imperialist agenda. Gives veteran status in exchange for your stability, your sobriety, your peace of mind. All the seats at these tables come with conditions because white folk been doing this. See, I understand we like to mind our manners, but I don't think our grandparents would want us breaking bread with the same folk that's been breaking up our families. White people been dressing their agendas in our skin, and now they call it diversity or progression. But I just been calling bullshit to what a lot of people been calling blessings. The blackest thing about our VP is literally her skin, because her hand is deep in mass incarceration, but when the hand holding the whip looked like ours, suddenly y'all can't see no more, so you send your sons to fight for a country that kills them. They got plenty of bullets to duck and dodge over here, but when America serves violence as freedom, calls it a way out, oh, black kids line up quick. And you know America's smiling because they rather it be our blood than theirs, and so they talk a good game and we in them shackles again, pledging allegiance with a flag dyed red from our insides, mouth shut. And you call that freedom. Fight gone. And you think that's progression. Feelings off. What type of freedom robs you of your being like that? How you gonna be safe in a country that was built to kill you?
All right, judges. I love it. I love it. The judges are energized. Okay. Okay. All right. From low to high, we have an 8.2. We have a 9, a 9.6, a 9.6, and a 9.8 for the poet. All right, that's a 28.2 for the poet. Y'all applaud the poet. And we do need to make a correction. The previous score, where it's said to be a 26.7, is actually 25.7 for Lot. So, Poetic Zay, you are up next. Y'all, please put your hands together and welcome Breeze to the stage.
Colonized my inbox to white-splain his version of unity to me. And with all the audacity of his caucasity, he thought he was cool enough to be asking me, why is there a need for a Black History Month? It feels so divisive. Well, Chad, I understand your issue with this kind of exclusion. See, when the world usually revolves around you, it might be hard for you to understand why we would think our own space is beautiful. You're probably tired. Scrubbing our blood off of your roots might be a tedious exercise, especially when whitewashing usually cleans your prints off of history pretty easily. I imagine this being something hard for you to swallow without causing cotton mouth. How you'd have to have the digestive system of the Middle Passage to gulp down this kind of genocide without burping up the bones. But I see you as a starving soul, desperate for someone to understand your kind of diet. How we don't go down well with your white wines. It's why you always try to devour us in such small and bland and appropriation rations. Dr. King speeches and sit-ins, Rosa Parks and peaceful protesting. How these well-done versions cook out all the flavor and the meat because the rare truth be too bloody for you. And you didn't order that kind of ugly with their innocence, did you? See, the taste of Gabriel's conspiracy, smothered in the Stono Rebellion, served to you on a bed of Nat Turner's revolt, might be too spicy for you. Might burn like June 1st, 1921, Black Wall Street going down, doesn't it? See, when your heritage shoved up the enslavement of an entire race about a month long of force-feeding you our triumphs despite unsettles your stomach. Probably smells like chitlins and failure. Probably tastes like Jim Crow, fried hard with a large helping of we shall overcome, sticking to your ribs like soul food. So I understand you like your holidays with a dash of paganism and child rape, a sprinkle of smallpox and slaughter. I mean, I may just be drunk off these white wines, but I get it. The agony of trying to pick the prettiest parts of our history from between your teeth, the exhaustion of carrying around the kind of privilege that allows you to ask why we need a Black History Month, but not ask why the fuck we need a Columbus Day. I mean, it must be hard that for the shortest month of the year, we feast on ourselves and all that leaves you left to eat is a plate full of your fucking ghost. But I know exactly what you need, Tanner. You need to get the fuck out my inbox.
Judges. I'm going to round that up. All right. All right. So from low to high, we have a 9. We have a 9.2, a 9.7, a 10, and a 10. It's a 28.9 for the poet. Y'all applaud the poet. Hassan, you are up next. Y'all put your hands together for Poetic Zay.
When they ask why I write, I would tell them that God guides his pen. Tell them that, hi, my name's Isaiah. Tell them that many people don't know this, but my memory ain't the best, y'all. See, I have a tendency to forget things regardless of importance. In fact, I honestly believe that this condition I have of memory misplacement is rooted from childhood trauma and abusive situations. There were certain events that occurred that my mind was forced to bury. So when parents talk about times that to my knowledge ain't even realistic, scary, not even the word to describe this feeling, I honestly believe that this lost connection I have between my memories and my brain is a fail-safe method of my subconsciousness, fearing that my trauma would resurrect and resurface my pain, so therefore sentence my mind to a lifetime of forgetfulness just so I wouldn't have to walk around with so much baggage on my back. I have to live with the emotion of, what if I did this or didn't do that? See, there aren't many things that I know, y'all, and even few that I remember. But each day, I battle the fear of being in my 30s and 40s and struggling with early signs of dementia, simply because I've seen women on both sides of my family go to war with this demon. They either lose their life to it or the ability to recognize their own children, but these are fakes I refuse to accept. So when life tends to land a right hook or uppercut and I forget to bob and weave, in the midst of this knockout punch, I can hear my grandmother screaming, "Get up, child of God. This ain't your last fight." So when I'm down bad, and I mean at my lowest, I do what I do best, y'all. All right. I write about how each day I see bullets of racism meet the flesh of black bodies, but yet still, my people are forced to walk around as if we're bulletproof, forced to swallow the desire to avenge our ancestors, knowing America has the ability to Thanos you. I write about how these poems are fully loaded like a cockback Smith & Wesson, and how before I open my mouth and give them hell, I close my eyes and say a blessing, because Lord knows that a gift of this caliber sometimes is pointing in the wrong direction. That's why these breaths and pauses a time to perfection. I write about how math was never my strong suit, but I know that this talent plus dedication multiplied by repetition is a formula for success. It just took the painful method of transmutation to unlock my inner alchemist. Now watch as I turn these poems into my obituary, because here is where I lay the old me to rest. I treat this pen like a sword, this paper like flesh. I strategize my final blow and I proceed to intersect. I write about how they hate to admit that my poetry is unruly, but if they step in this war zone of a stage, they get quick scoped like Call of Duty. I write about how these words are weapons, and I want to be known as a professional wordsmith. And I write paragraphs and fragments and things that don't even make no sense. I write everything that crosses my brain, because one day I'm afraid that it just might. Hi. My name is Isaiah. Many people don't know this, but my memory isn't the best. See, I have a tendency to, wait, I believe I've said this before.
Judges. Come on, judges. You're doing good. You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep it going. Keep it going. All right. All right. I see 2, 3, 4, 5. From low to high, we have an 8. We got an 8.7, a 9.3, a 9.5, and a 9.8 for the poet. Y'all applaud the poet. It's a 27.5 for the poet. Y'all applaud that. Mariah, you are going to be up next. Y'all please welcome Hassan to the stage.
When I have a son, I hope he never plays sports. I'd rather send him to spelling bees or science fairs before football practices, because I'm tired of seeing black men slave away in fields. So I'm going to teach him that shooting hoops won't get him as far as shooting for the stars. That hitting these books is far more important than hitting hard, and I want him to know that he's already good enough. Like, God already gave him a 99 overall character that just might not be a video game for what he's good at, and I hope he's not good at basketball. I want all of his balled-up hippie jump shots to miss trash cans. I don't even want him to step on the court. See, I know boys who know nothing but these games. Risk and trouble, 21 and horse, shooting like they keeping score. I got brothers I haven't played with in years because they played in the wrong courts and got jammed by a bad defense. I've heard boys ask for help and receive nothing for their trouble, then cause a little trouble and get everything taken away. Call the cops and end up a threat. They won't help us but assist our death. These systems treat black people with poor sportsmanship, weak technique, and no effort. Sit on the bench, judge us like we lack hustle, but charge us like we hustlers. Big ballers, they brand us bad fathers. Foul, but we only fall or foul out when making contact with their bad apples. Basically, police us like it's a contact sport. And only contact their weapons when they contact us. And don't let go of the iron till we hit the floor, but they won't contact help while we fade away. It's not their job to help when they knock our doors. They knocked our doors and said to vote, but ain't nothing changed since we voted for hope. Police still kill us like it's their job. Politicians still don't want to do their jobs. They don't want to fund our schools or feed our kids, but they will feed the cops. More focused on locking us in a box and unlocking our potential, rather buy our time and waste our minds. Don't support our teachers, but teach that we are the problem, then go aggravate the issue that they're supposed to be solving. America don't ever want to show us love unless we play their game. They're not a fan, but cheer our pain and laugh when we ask for change and spend more on our chains and our freedom. Would rather break our backs than buy kids books or feed their minds. They feed us lies. Don't play by their rules, but rule our lives, and don't pay us our worth. We be undervalued stars, reduced to role players, because white men still making money off of field niggas. Why you think they make sure we fit for the field, nigga? Like, y'all only think to call it slavery when the field's bigger, but we all in bondage, from the point guards to the field kickers. Old Jim Crow got a new type of triangle trade. Master making billions off his $1 million slaves, and what they don't understand is why they think they're getting paid. They don't really get a taste of all the money that is made, because 30 million large is chump change for an owner. Isn't it funny how only their slave names get put on their jerseys? They literally sign away their freedom and then encourage our kids to do the same, but it's hard to follow in their footsteps when we can't afford the shoes, because these fields grow black boys like cotton. Colleges comb through courts for kids like cash crops and then raise them up in chains. They run suicides in practice and then kill each other in games, and all my homies live like ball is life. I can't change their ways, but I hope that my son don't have to grow up as no slave.
Judges, so you can always keep up with the slam. The website is bullcitypoetryslam.com, and you can find out. We also do a writing workshop virtually the second Monday at 6:30. It is free. If you go to the same website or follow us, Jambalaya Soul Slam, across IG or Facebook, you can find out and join right in. It is open to anyone, no matter how long you've been writing poetry or if you just want to start. I'm waiting for one more score. I had 5. Hold on. I had 4. Oh, thank you. All right. From low to high, we have an 8.7. We have a 9.5, a 9.6, a 9.6, and a 10. Boom. That is a 28.7 for the poet. Y'all applaud the poet. Tamia, you are up next. Y'all, please put your hands together and welcome Mariah to the stage.
The long-time nuclear waste warning message was written in 1993. The writers proposed that nuclear waste sites be designed to communicate messages without language, but wrote the message as an example of what the design might communicate. A little bird on my phone reminds me, take your shower, wash your face, brush your teeth. I love you, it says. You can do this, it says. It chirps at 8 and 11 and 2, part of the containment structure I've built around my life, a careful schedule of meals and meds and mindfulness. I keep my therapy journal in my office, and from the outside, you'd never know. The Radium Girls didn't know. Someone in that factory knew, but maybe everyone, but they didn't. They pointed their brushes with their lips. They painted their faces, their nails. They played. They didn't know that the glow of the radium paint on their skin would sink into their bones, deeper than love. They didn't know they were kissing their destruction until it showed. Holes in their smiles and weakness in their hearts, and by then, it was far too late. The thing about mental illness is that it doesn't tell you what it is when you meet someone. Those first few stolen touches. I got this. The intensity is intriguing, sexy. The lightning of those first few stolen touches promises something unforgettable. When you kiss me, we glow. The energy rolling off me knocks something loose in you, and you feel, love, I'm radioactive. I will climb through your mouth into your bones, quietly poisoning whatever we might have had. I will make you sick and weak and sad, and by the time you understand why, your heart will already be dying. There is no girlfriend Geiger counter you could hold up to my soul to hear the particles of heartbreak pinging around inside me, each new crackle telling you how broken I am. But if such a thing existed, I'm sure I would be Chernobyl. I am in full nuclear meltdown, and you are holding me at the epicenter, and there will be absolutely no survivors. And I feel like I should warn you, and sometimes I try, but hope or love or oxytocin makes you tell me it'll be fine. This time won't end like the last, but I know what I am. I'm thinking of tattooing a warning on my sternum, permanently inking the seriousness of my sin into the skin over my heart. This place is not a place of honor. No highly esteemed deed is commemorated here. Nothing of value is here. What is here was dangerous and repulsive to us. The danger is still present in your time as it was in ours. This place is best shunned and left uninhabited.
Judges. All right, from low to high, we have a 7.4, 7.5, 8.1, 8.3, and a 9.4. Boom, 23.9 for the poet. Y'all applaud the poet. Shaking Not Stirred, you're up next. Y'all, please put your hands together and welcome Tamia to the stage.
I know you remember the first time you really felt your blackness. That moment when the world got a little dimmer and you realize the implications of what it means to be hated on a land that you must tend to be deemed at least 3/5 useful. And yet, compromising with the colonizers has only gotten us so far. Our community will reject liberation while still being caught up with the front of rags to riches. Colonialism and slavery are the most basic corporates. Yes, we were stripped of our wealth,
But should we not be concerned more by the appropriation of our spirit? Are we not the descendants of pharaohs? Are there not statues made in our likeness? Knocking off a nose does not erase the person the image represents. And that they knew, so they created nooses. And don't America love to leave a nigga hanging? Sometimes they don't even need rope. Our own chains will suffice, like iced out to stand on the block. Don't that sound like an auction? Keep hitting that whoa Jim Crow. You'll probably be a top pick and ain't black culture always the topic of conversation. Do y'all really believe CPD when they let R. Kelly pipe of the streets of Chicago for decades? Like, are y'all really validating the words of white men like they're not the driving force behind everything we face today? Like they didn't study us until they could replicate the culture in the absence of the people, until they could replicate the people in the absence of the culture. And here is where I must mention the most famous of vultures, the Kardashians, who no black woman on earth envies. We just realize that they're the ones who've been keeping up with us all along. Always looking to us for the newest thing to cash in, called fashion, and repackage to the masses. Kris Jenner is the hardest working woman in Calabasas for turning the tribe of white women with a sprinkle of flavor and fake asses into public figures. How many more Kylies and Mileys will have to emerge for you to see that black is the blueprint? Miley had her 7 things, Ariana got her 7 rings, and y'all still aren't seeing the connection. What part of everybody wants to be a nigga, but nobody wants to be a nigga, are y'all still not getting? I'm disappointed that nigga is a part of my vocabulary. We call it reclamation, but is that the right we should be fighting for? I'm irritated that our minds can hold generations worth of lyrics, but we'll forget the names of fallen black voices not long after they fade from the headlines. Angry that every few months I have an identity crisis. It is something to be considered that black people in America have no ethnicity. Why is black considered a race and an ethnic group? I hate that black people pay websites to tell them about their ancestry. I didn't know slave ships had trackers. I could stand here and tell you that you probably came from West Africa, then spice it up too. Tell you that you descend from the kingdom of Mansa Musa. Say that your great whatever sat on thrones when it very well may be that they carried the pyramids on their backs. I hate that I have to keep mentioning slavery, but it was never abolished, just rebranded. I'm mad as hell that I still have to write black poems. What else is there left to say? Martin couldn't even dream hard enough for you niggas to act right.
Judges. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, score up there. All right. Okay. We got a score there. Okay. All right. Let's got a score up there. One more. All right here. From low to high, we got 7.3. We have a 9, a 9.1, a 9.7, and a 10. That is a 27.8 for the poet. Y'all applaud the poet. Hey, Janae, you are up next. Y'all, please give it up for Shaken Not Stirred.
In 1789, Louisiana passed a law requiring black and multiracial women to cover their hair in public. This law was meant to suppress the growing free, proud black population here caged by scarves, unable to run wild and free, scorned for their texture, little girls being taught that their hair was just raggedy and nappy. Some days I sit back and admire how the sun kisses my daughter blistering skin. Taken back by her beauty, she has the Underground Railroad within the kinks of her hair. Each strand shows pain and suffering, roots thriving in harsh condition. One day, my daughter came home and told me that her white teacher asked if she cut her hair. She said she didn't. She looked at me with her confused eyes saying, "Mommy, she insisted I did." I could hear the agony of a 6-year-old tugging at her lungs, the question of why rattling her voice box, echoing to desperation of a mother wishing to protect her from this lesson. I'm unable to shelter her eyes in disbelief or close her mouth in silence. I had my daughter's hair in 2-strand twists. Maybe, just maybe I should have had her hair in a head wrap. Then her white teacher cannot twist the mouth around her eye, manipulating her hair when I did not manipulate it at all. Her hair It's her birthright. It's the same hair that she came out to my birth canal with. I get so sick and tired of people telling me I should put a relaxer in her hair to tame it. Well, I'm unable to bleach her skin to make her life a little bit more manageable. Daughter, never second guess your 4C kings. You cannot choose your grain of hair. People ask to touch your hair as if you're an animal. You're not in a petting zoo. You are beautiful. Embrace the queen that you are. My hair wrap is deemed an object of oppression. I'm told it's having a slave mentality. I teach my daughter that my hair wrap is a helmet of courage and salvation, taking back slave mentality by replacing it with broken shackles. Every fabric tells a story of me, reclaiming my history, standing for absolute freedom while I appreciate the women before me. People may stare and not appreciate the crown that I wear. These hair wraps are not for show. I gave up being a cover girl for the essence of inner strength. Do not allow society to tell you what is natural or unnatural. Never second guess the crown on your head, daughter. I will teach you how to be bold, to be beautiful, to embrace the very definition of black girl magic, baby.
Judges, all right, way to kick that thing off. All right. Got 4 scores. All right. From low to high, we have a 7.3. We have a 8.6, an 8.9, a 9, and a 9.8 for the poet. That's a 26.5 for the poet. Y'all applaud the poet. Mo Grays, you are up next. Y'all, please put your hands together for Asian A.
Things seem like they are all right until they ain't. Until I get the whiff that there might be kerosene mixed in the interior paint, I don't have to see the signs. Just smell that maybe something ain't right, that this tinderbox flame could explode any moment, become flame brand beacon lighting up the night over something superficial like body signals or civil disagreement. It's only a moment I need to see that this house and I aren't something I should believe in, because after all, this house is a death threat, full of flammable potential, decorated in good intent, a would-be perfect place that I could lay my head, if not for fear of igniting after I tuck into its bed. It looks so nice, but I can't shake this sixth sense that this is just too good to be true. So I light the match. Burn the house beyond rescue. Funny that for all my anticipation of this house being an accelerant-filled trap in waiting, that it did not go up in flames with the speed and glow of a malicious liquor-soaked love interest. I mean house. Yes, these are the houses I burn. The arson habit I crafted to defend myself from tragedy. I am a tall, cool glass of Molotov cocktail, ready to ignite at the sight of intimacy failed. I'm something of a fire kiter. I light instead of fight fires, burn down my homes with ink like a fire writer, self-proclaimed admirer, pseudonym the pyre viper, drunk on bottled up gasoline cider with lovers' loose lips as Lotus lighter. At least it's warm here. I'm safe from cinders of lovers who might hinder the softness of my heart and my nature as a giver. A game of who burns first. And I've become the incendiary specialist who gets the best of everyone. A tragedy born of trauma with a desire to find love, whether they want to scorch me or not. The heat still melts my doubts. Eventually, when it snuffs, I'll go looking for another house, because things always seem like they ain't right until I have burnt them down.
Judges. Come on, judges. All right. Low to high, we have a 7.7. Straight from East Germany. I think we have to throw that out the window. That just doesn't work anymore. It's not politically correct. Anyway, we have a 8.7. 9. 9.2. And a 9.7 for the poet. That is a 26.9 for the poet. Y'all applaud the poet. And y'all please put your hands together and welcome Mo Grace to the stage.
On the phone with a friend one time. Pastor who knows I don't identify as Christian, she say, Mo, don't you know you Jesus? You got all his features, ain't your hair wool and your skin bronze? Don't you travel these stages spreading the word, Mo? Don't that make you some type of disciple? So to think I ain't no saint. Poems like the Book of Nigalations, just living life and regurgitating. She say, bro, I promise you some type of trap pastor or something. So my brothers and my sisters, I invite you to first turn to the book of Genesis. See, in the beginning, God created the hoods and the trap. And the hood was without form and void, darkness on the face of the concrete, and the Spirit of God hovering over. And one day the trap said, let there be white. That was white. Drugs flood the streets, turning Gentiles to junkies. Fiends brought all their tithes and offerings to the dope house. Glass pipes being passed around like collection plates, leveling cities in the salt pillars as if the smokers somehow look back at Sodom. Reagan's reign of terror, like the wrath of King Solomon. Think splitting babies in half between crack rock and sobriety. Think infant spoons turning to smoke stems. The media made it as if the addicts bought a mark of the beast. Church, I hope y'all staying with me. Fast forward to the book of Lost Souls. The Songs of the Smokers, verse 1 said, honor thy weed, man, and thou strain shall be strong and prosperous. Was outside one day, shoes off, smoking that burning bush, reflecting on the blessings that life bestowed upon me. The scripture spoke out. I took a puff and said to my neighbor, God is good all the time. Now you see how quick we is to recite that line, like in spite of niggas dying all the time, in spite of bad hairlines all the time, how yet and still we cling to that age-old cliche. Black folks are the epitome of being led by faith and not by sight. Streets 3:16 says, for boys so loved the hood that he gave his only begotten soul, and whosoever believeth in that block will surely perish, but have an everlasting life. As if an Airbus t-shirt equates to an altar, or a mural turns you into an angel in the afterlife. For the streets of your city still sing gospels of your praises if you don't get slain in them. We deserve more from this life than grief and anguish. My congregation, I invite you to look to the person to your left and say, neighbor, I'm staying alive today. I want you to look to the person to your right and say, neighbor, I'm going to survive today. I want you to look at me and say, neighbor, I'm going to thrive today. Ha! Yes, Lord, I speak the strength of 1,000 Samsons into my afro, and I pray that my Delilah can hold on as I discover myself in all the brokenness. I'm fighting lions in my mind while my heart leads me to Zion. Lord knows I'm trying to hear my cries. I cuss a lot. God knows my heart. I'm just a man
with a prayer that the good Lord saves my soul for a rainy day. I'm wondering if the sins of street niggas and saints get weighed the same at the pearly gates. Do we judge a man of the Glock the same way we judge a man of the cloth whose soul gets immunity? I find myself thirsting for communion within my community. For my life reaches has been addiction. I've hearts and minds are clear. Let the church say,
Judges. Got 3. I got 4. I got 5. Low to high, we got a 8.8. We got an 8.9. We got a 9.8. A 9.9. And a 9.9 for the point. Four score of. We have a time penalty. Hold on. Let everybody get over it. Hold on, whoa. Y'all can't say the words when you hear everybody else going, "Oh." Give them a moment. Now say the words. Thank you so much. We do not boo before saying the words here. I'm going to get y'all to learn that, poets, before we sign. We do not boo, bad, or anything else before we say the words, y'all. We're going to get this together. Thank y'all so much. There is a time. There's screw Lutheran time. After a 1.5 time penalty, the score is 27.1. Y'all applaud the poet. All right. So, thank you so much for being here. We're going to find out who advances to the second round. Judges, y'all are doing great. Audience, you are keeping them honest. I appreciate y'all. We do this slam the third Saturday of every month. I want to take this opportunity to let you know we are doing something very, very special next month. We are going to have our inaugural I-85 Lyric Slam. So, here's what this is, okay? We are not signing up poets to slam. It's open to everyone. What we're having is when you sign up, you're going to spit and perform the lyrics to a song. You cannot sing them. You have to spit them and perform them as if they were a poem. You don't get to tell the title of the song or the artist. You just have to spit the song. And it will be judged just like we judge the poems in the slam. 3 rounds, 3 songs. We only need at least 2 verses and a hook. If you want to throw in the bridge, that's on you. We do not need the entire song. Don't come up here and pick a 6-minute song because you love you love 60 soul music and be up here all day. We're not doing that. Okay? All right? 2 verses and the hook, and then you out of here. All right? This is a brand new event. I'm excited about this. This is an experiment, but I think it is one of the ways we can turn this stage over to the community. So if there's anybody brave enough, this isn't air guitar, but it is going to be fun. So also on April 6th, Thursday night, April 6th, at the North Carolina Museum of History, we are going to have the Triangle Word Clash. One of the things that we have historically done is once teams are picked across North Carolina, we invite teams together to compete in scrimmage so that everybody gets a chance to see what a team competition is. This year, we are doing that in collaboration with the North Carolina Museum of History. So we will have our Bull City Slam team, the team that will be selected tonight, competing against Slam Charlotte from Charlotte, North Carolina. Detour Poetry Slam. Detour Poetry Slam from Fayetteville, North Carolina, and Gate City from Greensboro, North Carolina. Y'all ignore them. They're from Charlotte. They're hearing this for the first time. So put it on your calendars. It's going to start at 7:30 p.m. It is going to be an amazing opportunity to get a sense of what we do when we go off the competition. Please hang out with us. It'll be spread across social media. It'll be on the museum website. They'll probably do a press release, all that good stuff, so y'all be on the lookout for that. And so now, so I have a tendency, during these slams, because I love horrible dad jokes, and I have a tendency to say them, and Wendy hates them. So, I was over there telling her that I was going to do a joke about chemistry, and she told me she didn't think it would get a reaction. All right, in the second round, we are going to have these 8 poets performing in this order. We're going to have Breeze, Hassan, Lonnie, Tamia, Poetic Zay, Mo Grays, Ajane, and LB. Y'all please make some noise. And y'all make some noise for Mariah Locked. Y'all make some noise for Mariah and Locked. And Shaken Not Stirred. Y'all make some noise for Shaken Not Stirred. For the hard work to be able to be invited tonight. We appreciated them taking the stage in the first round. This is not hard, y'all. I hope y'all can understand how difficult it is to get up here. It's a lot of pressure, and these poets are killing it right now. So we're going to jump right into the second round. Feel free, of course, take pictures, post on social media. We don't mind. But y'all continue to bring this in, keep this energy high. And Hassan, you are on deck. Y'all, please welcome back to the stage, Breeze.
After weeks of dating, she was like, I wish I had all of me to give you. But I'm still searching for the pieces the last fuckboy ran off with. And I don't want to cut you with all my broken. And this poem is, if I ever get my hands on the hoe-ass little boy that broke her heart, she was a firework that I wanted to explode into beautiful with. But you were the last spark to set her off before you left her burnt out and ran away with a new flame. And now she's scared the bang ain't worth the ash. A goddess who reserved a spot for you at her altar, but you had atheists in your eyes, hissed a bad religion that made her believe her holy was a lie, and now she don't believe in nothing. You see here, you little hoe ass, when women get guarded after dealing with nonsense, they're often disregarded with the promise that it's their fault niggas is garbage. They get told, oh, maybe you should watch who you choose, be more cautious and not love so reckless, but nobody ever addresses you dudes that need to be dealt with. So let's get it clear, I ain't having that. If I was to sum up the equation of me without her, the difference would be your ass. I did the math on that. So I'm telling you in advance, to solve this kind of word problem, I'll be counting on my hands. You're going to have to square up. Run my fade. Cause I'm beyond rhetoric. Forget cute concepts. This is all flex, all tense be the cause. Tension don't take shit out of context. This ain't pretty words at all. This is what happens when a broken heart won't be resolved with anything less than a broken jaw. Or you thought you was gonna be playing games with women on a lonely nigga block and I won't gonna pull up. Nah, brother, you owe me for this. Cause her open heart closing, cause you trolling being bogus is why the fuck I'm losing hope. Bitch, I'm too lonely for this shit. I just want some pure love to be wrapped in. But she's too busy licking the wounds you left her to fathom that my passion isn't just another scar waiting to happen. Here I am, all open arms, and I'm trying to embrace her awesome, but she's wielding the shards left of herself like a sword. She's scared to let down her guard because the last time she let it stagger, your whole ass left her shattered. And I see the whole of her despite the holes in her. Want to show her she don't have to keep withholding her. But her apprehension's gonna make her miss that. Got her all fucked up, which means you got me fucked up, and you the only one ain't fucked up. No, nigga, we gonna fix that, square up. Run my fade. See, I ain't perfect. I fumbled a few forevers. Had a lot of fuck shit to unlearn and still got work to do, which is probably why I'm taking this so goddamn personal. So call it selfish, call it emotional, call it childish too, but I'ma knock everything wrong with me the fuck out of you. Square up. Boy, listen. Sometimes the most valuable wisdom is going to cost you an ass whipping, because all you leaving is a bunch of pure hearts that find it hard to trust. Then genuine hearts pull up, find out you done fucked it up for all of us. Well, this is karma, kid. I'm about to fuck you up for all of us. Yeah, you're going to have to reevaluate your ways. You have a hole in her heart. I'm just trying to fill a space. And to do that, it means I got to drag your ass up out the way, and you're going to have to square up. Run me my goddamn fade.
All right, judges. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. Rest of y'all. Okay. All right. All righty. So from low to high, we have a 9.5. We got a 9.6. We have a 9.7. We have a 10. And a 10. It's 29.3 for the poet. Y'all applaud the poet. All right, Lonnie, you're up next. Y'all, please welcome Hassan back to the stage.
Egyptian script has over 1,000 distinct characters. The Phoenicians managed to simplify it into 22 letters. The Greeks added 2 letters when they stole it from the Phoenicians, and the Romans added 2 more to shit on the Greeks. America still uses this Roman alphabet today, a pure dilution of African tongue, but will try to convince anyone with ears that our same melanated mouths were too stupid to learn their language. Like they didn't break ours down into chunks bite-sized enough to fit through their small-ass lips, which is to say, they stole our basics, our building blocks. Not just the bricks, but how we made it, not just the process. They stole the formulas, they lost our minds, gave us keys, hid the locks, then convinced us we were already outside the box. They closed our eyes, gave us a book, then fed us chapters so we couldn't recognize our own handwriting. They taught us words. Like we didn't make the definitions. Hieroglyph comes from the Greek word hiero, meaning holy, and glypho, meaning writing. They knew from the very beginning that there was something sacred in our pens. This means nothing because, like devils, the only thing they ever seem to want to burn down are sacred things, church buildings, and holy people, to be the fire that cannot be quenched, or to become an abhorrence to all mankind, or to corrupt the speech of those meant to bring righteousness and healing. Proverbs 18:21. For life and death is in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. Which explains why they always trying to cut ours out. Like how they used to kill niggas for reading books. Like wanted knowledge that they got thrown out the garden for. But now everybody got an apple. We have been picking from the wrong trees. Are you scrolling or running from your own reflection? You were born Eden. There is a paradise in your bones. They tried to beat your halo off, make you forget where you came from, but your blood is magic enough to feed a village. They got you confused on who the enemy is. Like divinity has one shade. All the universe is black, and all the white will burn itself out eventually. Remember where you came from. We used to braid roadmaps to freedom in our hair. Used to weave corn into cornrows for the journey ahead. They got you looking for home in everything but yourself. They still fix their small-ass lips to tell you what you can't do, but they scales have never measured you. They have transplanted our traditions, took out African and made it Greek. They have constantly convinced us that we are everything less than sacred as they continue to burn us down. Stolen our spelling like we didn't make the magic. They copied our basics, our building blocks, not just the bricks, but how we made it, not just the process. They stole the formulas. They lost our minds, gave us keys, hid the locks, then convinced us we were already outside the box. It's time we find ourselves.
Judges. Yes, because that just made me feel considerably old. From low to high, we have an 8.6. We have a 9.6, a 9.7, a 9.8, and a 9.8 for the poet. Y'all applaud the poet. It's a 29.1 for the poet. Y'all applaud the poet. Tamia, you are on deck. Y'all give it up for Lonnie.
I've been working on remembering. The sun was rising out the cusp of Cancer when he kissed me his heaven, so I kissed him my angel, and I glossed my lips in honesty, hoping that it would give him a taste that not even his denial could brush off. He asked me to lay with him come nightfall, and my tongue said, of course, but my intuition inquired and say, how many nights you laid her here too? Does she know all the years the right side of your bed been belonging to me? How many times you plunge your ego into her genesis and christen it liberation? Did you know that when you tied our souls together, I would be able to feel when there's someone loosening us? Word to my big sister. I just want the black woman, the black femme to win in my story. My ex always worried about being the villain, but he lucky if his Joker even gets a chapter, like to call himself a hero. Like he don't pick every girl that he's going to save next. I remember him chuckling out his truth. His lips parted to say, I guess I got a thing for girls with daddy issues. And there go the pot calling the kettle black. Because only a wounded man's inner child will look for the broken pieces of a woman so that he could be the one to love her whole. And in return, she gonna grow him a garden of loyalty he would forget to water. Whenever he needs to go find himself, I found that the gate of his self-discovery is unlocked between the legs of another woman in the city. And I never have to look far, because it's always a poet that he wants to love him permanent without ever being a lover worth writing about on purpose. Every time I recall the start of our story, I feel myself slip into the girl I used to rescue myself from. She was so good at pretending, and that's how I could nod at his conjured up confusion he tried to cast as his truth. Like I don't know how he curled his hands inside his insecurities so she could be wrapped around his fingers. He probably soliloquized her silence so when his ego was satiated, he didn't have to face her. He semicolon every shorty who look at him long enough until karma puts a period in his fallacies. Understand all the practice taken in remembering, because forgetting was the only thing holding the lies together. And remembering, I'm gifting myself some forgiveness. Anytime you give something to a black woman, she's gonna birth it into something greater. I escaped a man burning everything he touched and have built myself a stage, using the ashes from every time he told me that I wasn't good enough, or my poetry, and all the secrets I swallowed for survival, for him, for us, but really myself. He don't even deserve this poem, but I damn sure deserves to get free, so may this poem be a vehicle for my healing. And every time I get lost reminiscing his last entrance more than his inexcusable exit, this poem will be a portal for my memory. How'd I do? Remembering?
Judges. Okay. and they deliberating. Okay. For low to high, we have 8.9. We got 9.6. We got 9.6. We got 9.6. And we got a 9.7. That's a 28.8 for the poet. Y'all applaud the poet. Poetic Zay, you are up next. Y'all, please put your hands together and welcome Tamia to the stage.
I have got 1,000 secrets, most of which I keep quiet, half of which aren't even about me, but I carry them so they won't have to, so you won't have to see. My body has been the happiest place on earth for everyone except for me. So I have decided to shut the amusement park down. Its security always seemed to be on break anyway. I have been cornered several times and I screamed. And then I kept screaming and no one ever seemed to hear me. I like to believe the guests all succumbed to bystander effects. No one stepped in to rescue me because they believe the next person with the ticket would. Now I'm left wondering, who do I turn to when I am seeking protection? Men have tried to kill me. Women will cover up their mess. And just the idea of it all destroys any understanding I thought I had about how the world operates. I no longer find any humor in a man telling me he's going to beat up my vagina. Too many men already did that. They loved it to death. They forced me to death. There are men walking around whose presence I feel like Grim Reapers. But I still don't tell nobody or make that call because 911 will always feel like a death sentence. But if I don't start saying something to somebody, it could be my final death sentence. And what makes a man look at you and decide that a part of you deserves to die? A black man was who murdered me, and I still don't tell nobody, so no one will come kill him and then me by association. Now, out of every 1,000 sexual assault cases, 995 perpetrators will walk free. And now I'll be lying if I said that a conviction would even satisfy the desire I have to see a couple niggas 6 feet under. So I drag around this coffin so they won't have to be inside of one. So some innocent little girl won't have to find out who her daddy really is. I don't want to be the one to have to tell her he is no superhero. He may carry her on his shoulders often, but he burdened mine. He ruined my posture. I don't sit up so straight anymore. He broke my back and my pridefulness. Man, I carry him. He is my secret. I keep him quiet. Sometimes I feel like I had a hand in the next woman he made quiet, and sometimes I want to blame the woman before me for all of my secrets, but she was just trying to survive just like me. She carries him on her back just like me. She got her own secrets to worry about just like me. Now I have one less.
Judges. From low to high, we have a 9. We have a 9.5, a 9.8, a 10, and a 10. That's a 29.3 for the poet. Y'all applaud the poet. Mo Grays, you are up next. Y'all please give it up for Poetic Zay.
In Detroit, Michigan, there is this furious service that's known as extreme kidnapping, clients pay no more than $1,500 for the service of, you guessed it, being kidnapped. Prior to being taken, they select the nature of torture they would like to receive. These choices include being gagged, held in bondage, waterboard, stunned, even suspended from the ceiling. The participant is given a safe word to opt out of the service when all of they choose, and all of this is perfectly legal. The first thought that passed my brain when I read this was, is that white people shit? But in all seriousness, maybe this idea seems so far-fetched because my people go missing every day and no one says a damn thing, y'all. They go missing in their trauma, in their depression, on dark alleys, on late nights, go missing by standing, reaching, jogging, eating, sleeping in the crib or in public, go missing just by breathing, and all America does is go blind. Refuses to read the people's language of Braille, yet advocates for an equal writing system. Why in the hell would I pay for a traumatic experience when I'm traumatized each time I turn on the news? It is a constant reminder that breath in this black body is a gift, a divine blessing, living scripture, walking testimony like every day on social media. I don't see another black queen go missing if I have to be honest. Discovering the existence of extreme kidnapping comes to no surprise. Because let's not forget, America is the most notorious kidnapper in history. In her free time, she enjoys stealing land, people, and resources, but loves robbing from this black body. America has been robbing this black body for over 400 years without permission. She stole our culture and called it trendy, our language and called it slang, and whenever there's a group of us advocating against us, she labels us. A gang tells us that the Black Panther Party was America's greatest threat, but forgets to admit the truth that they were founded on principles of self-defense from her America. Throws tear gas at you, then uses your tears to gaslight you to freedom like, here, try equity on for size. Don't it look good on that black body of yours? No, you can't afford this price. I swear this country just don't get it. My niggas don't desire for extreme kidnapping. Don't desire new methods of torture or fear, because being black in a white society is torture enough. I fear each time I hear a siren in the distance. I fear each time an officer asks for my license and registration. I fear each time I wear a hoodie and I mind my business because being black is enough justifiable cause for me to get a hashtag sentence. I fear America because torture of the black body is the only language she speaks. So no, I will never understand why someone would pay for extreme kidnapping when the old methods have been working for years.
Judges? Okay, one more. All right. For low to high, we have 8.5. We have 8.6. We have an 8.9. We have a 9.7. And a 9.8 for the poet. Y'all applaud the poet. All right, that's 27.2 for the poet. Y'all applaud the poet. Hey, Janae, you are up next. Y'all, please welcome Mo Graves back to the stage.
Can't seem to shake a lingering thought about a girl at my job whose combination of ignorant curiosity and white privilege was somehow more important than me feeling like a person every time that you felt it necessary to ask to touch my fucking hair. I stood there in that moment, vulnerable and triggered. My childhood consisted of my mother telling me that respectable black men don't wear long hair. Do-rags wrapped like I was born with them. Unlimited tubs of Murray's because the pomade kept the bomb way as I graduated. With a fro so big, my cap wouldn't fit and my mom's was pissed. I was told I should cut it to be my homie's best man so I look more presentable in the wedding pictures. Now bear in mind, homie had locks. I swear I haven't been near a pair of shears since. I've seen layers of my self-esteem shed away every time I got ridiculed for simply looking like myself. The love-hate relationship that festers with my coils every time my mom's called me a willy bear. My sister didn't like me not having a fade till it was long enough to braid. To this day, my shrinkage still make me self-conscious. I won't even step out my house without my fro being blown out. I see that same insecurity manifesting my oldest, so I throw in flat iron in solidarity. Yo, fuck them kids, son. Do what the fuck you want. I've always lived my life in defiance, with my hair being one of my biggest signs. Normalcy was never quite my thing. That's probably why these jobs never suit me. Boss man sat me down one day. He told me he wished I was as enthusiastic about coming to work as I am about going home. I wonder if he knows that I'm underpaid and I hate it here. Most of my time is spent daydreaming about these here stages or manifesting early exits from my workplace every workday reminds me that I simply gotta write better poems. The restraint that it took me not to rebuttal in that moment probably could have saved the egg in a car crash. Had I bit my tongue any harder, it probably would have fell on his desk. I remember this instant. I was mad insistent about going home a few hours early. I had family coming from 2 states. And the man's looked me dead in my face and told me to stay as if I don't pay to live in my house. One thing that I've learned in my 17 years of working is that if your boss never has anything else for you, they'll damn sure have the audacity. I got sick one time. I called out, came back. Supervisor asked that I never do that again. And sir, I promise, if he lets me keep my job, I won't get sick, not no more. Now I'm guessing that was the desired response. So nowadays, my boss calls me in for these meetings. I politely pull my fro back in a puff so he can look me dead in my eyes and say I don't give a fuck. So you and little snowflake better learn how to talk to me nice or don't talk to me twice. My attitude and my hair have always had a commonality. They're going to always do what they want to do. I've never been the type to fade my light or fall in line. That's probably why my barber ain't seen me in a few months. I refuse to walk on a razor's edge at my workplace. Honestly, I'm about tired of this shit anyway, so I'll tell you what, boss man. You can hold my hand while you walk me out, because I know you know I'm about to quit.
Judges? Oh, we just keep giving you all the wrong markers. All right, let's try this one. All right, from low to high, we have a 7.9. We have a 9, a 9.1, a 9.1, and a 9.4 for the poet. Y'all applaud the poet. That's a 27.2 for the poet. Y'all applaud that. LB, you up next. Y'all, please put your hands together and welcome A. Janae back to the stage. Thank you so much. We'll get that right. We'll get that right. We'll get that right. Y'all, please welcome A. Janae to the stage.
The house is quiet. The oven is cold. The stovetop glassy like ice. The electrical outlets are silent and still, white as plastic snow. Nothing buzzes. Nothing's singed. Nothing's burning. Just me and this mental illness in the stillness of my home. Because I swear, I can smell the faint sting of smoke. I feel the choke of burning belongings swirling into my throat. Every breath in, I feel like I should hold. Crawling for the door, crouching to the floor. Something is burning. Somewhere is burning. The world is burning, but the house is quiet. The window is open. The box fan hums.
The chill of winter sneaks in through its blades. It smells of rain, the bedroom of cats and laundry and litter. Soft light glints off the zipper of my uniform, hanging by turnout gear and extrication equipment, and my felines seem fine. No alert in their eyes, but I swear, I can smell the tingling, nose-aching headache of a house engulfed in flames, being ripped away in hellscape, inferno roar bursting window panes, crunch of hellish teeth on door frames. The shutter flash finally hits. My mind falls back into flashback trip. The house is ablaze, fully engulfed in skyward flame, the neighborhood a fume haze. I watch as a fire rapidly decays, a 3-bedroom home in rapid torch phases. My ambulance sirens howl over residential screams raised, the heartbreak songs of homes lost and families displaced. It plays on repeat, and the smoke slowly gets to me. This paramedic scene is only one of many, a tragedy that calls for me and the EMT with me. The smell of everything burning, the searing of hopes and dreams, the stench of loss and vilified being. The house is quiet. The air is clear, clean and sheer. Nothing to fear, nothing charred appears, no embers found near, just traumatic perseverance, PTSD's subtle interference, because I swear I still smell smoke.
Judges? I tell you, boy, some of these judges, hard to please. We got 8.6. We got an 8.7. We got a 9.8, a 9.8, and a 9.9 for the poet. That's a 28.3 for the poet. Y'all applaud the poet. Y'all please welcome LB back to the stage.
My name is Texas Franklin. And I can tell y'all ain't from around these here parts. You see, us people of the South, we's a quiet folk. And we both believe in the agreement and the sanctity of silence. Your skin tone sounds too much like 13th Amendment equality. Like a Mason Dixon line sang out of tune with separation. Don't get me wrong. I ain't a racist like my father. I just believe in his good Christian values, the same ones this here country was founded upon. You see, my father, he had this here saying. There's a difference between a dog and a fence and one on a chain. You see, in a fence, he can run around and pretend like he's got a chance going somewhere, but if you put him on a chain long enough, hell, he'll even lose his will to bark. Now, there's the silence. I say all that just to say this. Just because you're free, it doesn't mean you're welcome here. All your kind does is won't. Can't you see we've been given? Your 40 acres and a mule, it has to come from someplace. And who do you think owns this here land? We've been growing American pride right here for years. And the one thing about pride is it won't let you forget your past. It stays rooted in you, like a weeping willow in the middle of your field of dreams, like a woodpecker burrowing into your family tree. Can't y'all see? Y'all ain't the only ones that found your history hard to digest. Y'all call it strange fruit hell. We just called it a bad harvest. Like too many weeds of thoughts in the nigga fields. You must have picked up freedom while you was picking tobacco. Figured you couldn't speak it with your chain on, so you just ran on that thought. See, we had to teach you. You'll get hung if you run on a sentence. It ain't just a figure of speech. Y'all had to learn who you was talking to. Learn how to say yes, master, in your silence and never feel like you're out of eye. Because if we think you're talking down, we'll take you back to Memphis, Tennessee, and remind you that niggers and balconies just don't go together like we. Wait. Ain't Memphis the capital of ancient Egypt? Didn't you used to bury your pharaohs beneath the pyramids? So why y'all can't think you can get to the mountaintop? Why y'all still dream like you can get to the mountaintop? Don't y'all see the fences? Y'all took nigger and made it cool, right? Well, nigger ain't what we called you. It's what we made you. You see, you will always be America's greatest crop, and we will keep harvesting you until you say something about it. So go ahead, boy, speak up. Tell me I'm wrong. Now, see, there's the silence.
Judges. Judges. I love Poetry Slam. Poetry Slam is so much fun. Oh my goodness. I love these judges. I want these judges with me all the time. From low to high, we have a 9.8. And we have and that is a perfect 30. All right. So we will take a moment, see who advances into the final round. 6 poets, 6 more poems, and then we will see how this all goes. I appreciate y'all so much. Don't forget, April 6th, Thursday, April 6th, North Carolina Museum of History. You'll get to see the team that gets selected tonight compete against 3 other teams, see it all go down with some special guest poets. Then next month, 3rd Saturday of the month, our lyric slam. And then, oh my goodness, in May, we're going to have something real special. It's a meeting we're going to have a meeting at the Crossroads, and we're going to celebrate our ancestors. Stay tuned, because that is going to be so magnificent. Something very special as part of a collaboration with a very, very special project. So y'all want to be here for these next 2 months. And then, of course, in the summer, we're going to return to our paper-thin poetry slams, where in June, July, and August, all of the poems must be read off paper, not phone, not memorized. It is open to anyone who's never taken this stage before. Works in progress and new poems are encouraged, so we want to make sure we can spend time inviting the community of writers into this space and get them comfortable what it means to be up here. So we got some special things planned, and of course, next September, we start competition season all over again. You ready, Wendy? Good. Hey, y'all, what y'all call a fish with a bow tie? Sophisticated. I know. That was terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. It was absolutely terrible. All right. We're going to have the poets, 6 poets performing in this order. Breeze, Hassan, Tamia, Lonnie, LB, and Asia Nay. Y'all please put your hands together for Mo Graves and Poetic Zay for taking this stage and tearing it down for 2 rounds. All right, judges, y'all hang in there. Y'all have been doing such a great job. Yeah, before we get this started, because I don't want to do this in the midst of the poetry, y'all, on the count of three, y'all say, hey, mama. On the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, my mama's sitting right there. My mama's sitting right there. I know you didn't want me to do that. I know you didn't want nobody to know you was here. I know you didn't, but we're going to do it anyway, because I don't get these many opportunities to do this thing. All right. I'm going to get in trouble later, y'all. All right. Hassan, you are up next. Y'all, please welcome Breeze to the stage.
She was like, hey, I got a question. What's the difference between Frederick and Breeze? You know, I never really considered there being a... I would answer you, but first I have to know which one of us you think you're talking to. Wait, I got a question. What's the difference between a therapist and a nosy person just trying to screw with my fucking head, right? Because you know you're not a therapist, so that would make you a nosy person just trying to screw through my... Frederick always gets like this. Protects everything he wants to give people from people. He's like a guard dog that would love to play fetch. He just refuses to let go of the stick or his heart or his demon. I mean, he wants people to see him. He just doesn't want to feel exposed. He's very abstract. Art paints passion with how he loves but can only picture the loving hard and broken that always left him with. So all you end up with is this beautifully shattered open wound beating on the canvas of his... I don't really know how to explain it, you know, but it does remind me of this movie I seen one time. Okay. You want to talk about Breeze then, huh? The poet who puts love in his art, thinks writing is his heart's form of freedom? That's so stupid. He's not free because he can articulate his chains. You know what's so stupid? How he takes his shoes off on stage as if the space is safe and sacred for him, but there's nothing safe about bleeding pretty for people who aren't going to help you clean up the mess you make of yourself. They chant, go in, poet, and never consider how the fuck you'll get out. I get it, though. You know why he's so guarded? I mean, he hates being misunderstood, and no one tries to understand. He just sit comfortable, and their assumptions use him as a scapegoat to justify how badly they treat him. I watch him be caution taped into a cage quite often. He looks like a crime scene. I can't tell if he's a murder victim or a suicide weapon. All I can tell you is that it's killing our heart, and honestly, it's the best part of the movie. Where this guy, like, kidnaps these girls, and he got a bunch of unknown personalities living. Oh, okay. You wanna use Breeze's openness to expose how close I seem? How well, let's explore this shit. Shall we? This openness only makes him a bullseye, a target for rightful rhetoric. He doesn't understand love is a fighting word. Why the fuck you think the heart is the size of a fist in the first place? Honestly, he's so weak. I'm tired of him calling me weak. He doesn't understand the strength it takes to hold on to anything. Honestly, he's just a coward who measures his strength on how far he can push everything. What Breeze is just a buffet of trauma, offering himself up for everyone to pick through our scars to get full of our faults. Leave without ever finishing a fucking plate still. All that's left are the tables dirty from the scraps of us. They always leave behind because they always leave us behind. Split. That's the name of the poem. Anyway, I don't really know how to answer this question. I just know that if there is such a difference, I hope there's anyone out there who could just love, just love all of me.
Judges? We got 3 scores. I think we got 4. We're about to have 5. From low to high, we have 9.5. Got a 9.7, a 9.8, a 9.9, and a 10. That's 29.4 for the poet. Y'all applaud the poet. Tamia, you are up next. Y'all please give it up for Hassan.
You see, my god brother was a quiet kid, a strong, silent type. He had 5 brothers, but we could always tell he was a little different. We didn't know how different, though, until we found his YouTube channel, a mosh pit of teenage angst, emo-ness, and cringy jokes that make me smile. See, my god brother, he was edgelord. For those who don't know, edgelord is a term coined to represent those who do risky or extreme things, who love to balance on the abyss. Some would say they do it for attention, but most of the time I think it's just their personality running from a world that wants them to act normal, existing in the only place where they can truly find peace. In one of his videos, my god brother, he's playing at a railroad. He's balancing on the tracks. He's dashing from one end to the other. He says, y'all probably think this is lame, but it's not. It's so cool. He says it over and over, and you can hear his excitement. And when he finally spots that train, you can see his elation. And this is the definition of edgelord. Watching 400 tons of steel fly by, hearing iron thunder against iron, and feeling no fear. Only wind in your hair and joy in your heart. Close your eyes. Can you see him? Balancing on the edge of life and death, dancing with locomotives like old friends, all grins and no care bear towards the danger. I think he was numb to the danger. See, most black boys realize early on that danger is a question and your survival depends on refusing to answer it. I got homies like my god brother who find their joy on the wrong side of the tracks or the law, who don't look for trouble but will walk around their neighborhood in the dead of night hoping trouble finds them, because looking danger in the eye is the only time they feel alive. And even I love to live on the edge sometimes. Ain't no two-step like dancing with death. Ain't no better way to learn to appreciate your breath than the moment it's almost snatched out your chest. My heart races a little faster whenever I fit my car in between gaps a little too close for comfort. Switching lanes a little too early or a little too late. Smiling when I make it through, make it to another day. See, I got a theory that all black boys are edgelords. Gotta grow up comfortable with our feet swinging over the abyss, because society loves to push us to the cliff. Why you think we always ready to jump off, ready to call ones, so quick to drive by after we load guns? Black boys then grown up so close to death we get happy when we see that nigga. Wonder if we gonna come take this weight off our chest, because our every breath is frowned upon whether we smile or not. So excuse me if I grin at Grim Reaper like old friend. Yeah, I seen that nigga. He been walking around this neighborhood for years. I'm just not scared. I'm not looking for trouble. Just running from a world that wants me to act normal. Existing in the only place where I can truly find peace, whether that be the highway or the block or the railroad. And as for my god brother, 4 years ago on Valentine's Day, he caught that train. Or the train caught him. The details are a bit derailing. Just know he ain't here no more. But this poem ain't about grief. It ain't a eulogy. It's a dedication to every edgelord that loves to balance on the abyss, who looks danger in the eye because the only time they feel alive. A consecration for every edgelord that loves to balance on the abyss, and a celebration of the life of one who fell off.
Judges. All right. Below the high, we have an 8.8. We have a 9.5, a 9.5, a 9.6, and a 9.8 for the poet. Yes, it is. 28.6 for the poet. Y'all applaud the poet. Lonnie, you are up next. Y'all please welcome Tamia back to the stage.
I know a boy so obsessed with dying that he turns his life into a memorial service. He forces me to hear the drafts of his eulogy every day. He uses his hometown as a giant coffin so as he buries himself, he won't be so alone. He knows that if he is ever on the wrong side of a trigger, his homies will show up for him. His shooter will soon be joining him. His funeral will be open casket. This boy got rap dreams like the rest of them, but all he can seem to produce is dying. He has curated his death so finely that the entire neighborhood has had a hand in choosing his grave. He even wants to lower himself in when it's time. He has always had this fascination with the earth. He was one of those kids who had to see all of the things you could create from the dirt, until the time came when he realized the connection between dirt and people. Until he saw so many niggas hit the dirt, he began to think that maybe he should join them, because what could be a more beautiful union than the body returning to its place of origin? He keeps telling me everybody gotta die, so he's just gonna keep going until it happens. His only wish is that we take care of his family. And all I can think about is the fact that I will have nothing to tell them. How do I give condolences for someone who wanted to be gone? Someone who wrote his own eulogy and stamped it. A boy who, after it all, expects his flowers to come from me. I want to call him manipulative, but I understand him all too well. I know what it feels like to step out onto the closest ledge in hopes that someone will stop your feet from leading you over. Have fallen asleep at the wheel and found myself becoming acquainted with the guardrail as I was chasing the kind of high you can't find in the substance. But this boy has done it all. It would be easier to talk about what hasn't been in his body than what has. How many more bodies he plans to run through than the ones he's already ruined. He covers their burial ground with dirt he spews from his own words, and still he expects his flowers to come from me. Like I wasn't almost in that graveyard, like he doesn't expect me in his graveyard. He has curated his death so finely that he digs his own grave, yet longs for someone to stop him before he lowers himself in. This boy, a cynic, will tell you we live to die. An optimist will tell you we should be dying to live. And I haven't found a label that stretches enough to fit me yet, but I believe we should be living to live again. But I still couldn't stop the boy from toying too much with the Reaper. So I gave his eulogy exactly the way he wrote it. I told his family what a tragic accident it was, how he was gone too soon, and I still show up for him when nobody else does. His flowers come from me, just like he always knew that they would. You would think his tombstone was a damn garden. And it is only right that he stands out in death as much as he felt out of place in life.
Judges. Right, from low to high, we have an 8.9. We have a 9.4, a 9.8, a 10, and a 10. That's a 29.2 for the poet. Y'all applaud the poet. All right, LB, you're up next. Y'all, please welcome Lonnie back to the stage.
My parents got a divorce when I was 9. But years before their divorce, I watched my mother leave my daddy. There were no more arguments. Soon, that last name was only his. Her ring was on the dresser. My mama got away, was taking everybody down with her when her fairy tales become trauma-ridden, so our house became the bank's. And I spent over a decade watching her search for one and everyone and everything since. When I was 15, I watched the way my mother would bend herself for a man that should have never been able to reach her. Learned how to lay in the warmth of another woman's shadows, and learned that a man might love you, but never enough to leave her, and want you, but never enough to right his wrongs, beg you to stay, and gift you a bouquet of reasons to leave when you ask for a ring. He will invite you to fight for his commitment, but competing with a man's ego will make your reflection unrecognizable and take you away from everybody who has ever loved you, including yourself. And I have not seen my mother since the last day the man she created me with asked her to accept his closed-door kisses as his best. So like my mother does, she left, and she taught me everything I know. So believe me when I say that I know bending. Spent half of college twisting denial around my tongue. Hated the taste of my first love being alive, so I was always leaving. And they say home is where the heart is, so I was back just as fast as I should have left. And like my mama taught me, I knew how to sleep in the warmth of the other woman's shadows. I picked up the truth of my self-worth, picked up denial, and kissed my way into chaos. For the second half of college, I learned I could only stay if he let me. Can't do nothing about his self-sabotage being all he got to sleep with at night. And part of me understands I might run from my worst decisions too. Jumping into new beds may seem easier than apologizing, but I am still healing from a love story he was so quick to title, but never committed enough for us to start writing. But this poem is not about the love who ran my heart in circles. This poem is about my mother. And how because of her, I think love is only loud when it is leaving. How her abandonment is a testament for her hurt feelings. The way her ego don't allow intimacy or second chances into the room. This poem is how about watching my mother leave my daddy, prepare me for the lifetime she would spend rejecting me. At 13, she had my bags at the door. Once again at 15, 16, and on the last time she kicked me out on my 20th birthday. I grew up only knowing love when it comes dressed in self-hatred, powdered in jealousy. And even when she say it's gonna be different, I know it's not, because I can only stay as long as she let me. I can't do nothing about a mother who self-sabotages all she got to lay with at night. And I don't blame her. I would run from my worst decisions too. And I understand that for her, starting over is a lot easier than apologizing to her daughter, but I'm still healing from a story she was so quick to write, but not committed enough to continue, because growing in real love takes time. Does not leave at the first sight of a challenge, but my mama think this shit a fairy tale. I love in reality, so I don't spend my life hoping love will come along and pick me. I have to pick me, and I understand I'm chosen so long as I choose myself, but she can never see, feel, or believe anyone will choose her as long as she don't even choose herself. I love you, mama.
Judges. Right from low to high, we have an 8.7. We've got a 9, a 9.6, a 9.6, and a 9.7 for the poet. That's a 28.2 for the poet. Y'all applaud the poet. And y'all put your hands together and welcome LB back to the stage.
Have you heard the ballad of the black body's breath? How it gasps for air like reaching for heavenly help. And again, another black mother's prayers echo back black halos. Answers coming rounds around here. We say, why black death sounds so familiar, almost like you can hear every soul song sampled. Some say, when they died, like the only begotten son. Everyone wants to be spiritual until it's time to become one. And they say, yeah, the police killed him, but don't black death seem like a guilty confession? So moving, it even got courtrooms dancing around convictions. Old school swing like this here lit black carcass got a new face. Like strange fruit dying heartbeat with some 808s. Here in America, don't black bodies drop like album releases? And we are so busy dancing to that music of excuses to see what the DOJ hands are doing. Another black soul turned vinyl record. Can you hear how it gets scratched away? And we wonder why it stays on repeat. And we wonder why it stays on repeat. And we wonder why it stays to the repeat. Ask yourself, when was the last year of your life to go by when an unarmed black person wasn't murdered by the police and then buried beneath the news headlines? They said it was just a 911 call. The vigilante spoke of no crime committed, just suspicion. Just before another black body was made victim, we asked, was he jogging or walking? Because we can't tell if this is the ballad of Ahmaud Arbery or Trayvon Martin. They said it was a black body murdered in their own home. We asked, is this a Tatiana Jefferson or Breonna Taylor song? They heard her scream, I can't breathe. We asked, was Eric Garner just a remix of George? Was Eric Garner just a remix of George Floyd? Or does the noose get paid these royalties? We keep asking because this keeps happening. The ballad keeps playing Black Death and the police keep sampling. And we've all seen these scenes before. Postcard reminders of how we go from still images to emotion pictures viewed. From lynching a nigga at picnics to picking a nigga to lynch and then upload it to YouTube. And here we are again, asking, have you heard the ballad of the black body's breath? How would gasp for air like reaching for heavenly? I can't help but wonder if it's not that this country doesn't care, but what if it sees our pain, our suffering, even hears of our murder and thinks it's just music for the ears?
Judges? All right, from low to high, we have a 9.8. Well, okay. We got another 9.8. Let's see how dedicated y'all are. We got another 9.8. We got 9.9. And a 10. That is a 29.5 for the poet. Y'all applaud the poet. And y'all please welcome A. Janae to the microphone.
I don't have a lot of material things. I got one pair of jeans. These are it. My glasses, taped by the left ear, had this pair for over 4 years. As for my shoes, I just gave myself a third pair for personal wear. I want to be cool, look like you, be like you, but last year I came to Raleigh with 1 carload of belongings, 2 cats and a mattress.
Hey, Janae, hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Come back off stage. I'm sorry. That's not the judge. Hold on 1 moment. Everyone, hold on. Can I have all of the poets competing in the final round to meet me over here, please? Everybody, meet me over here real quick. Thank you. All right, so you have that? Beautiful. So there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Teamwork makes the dream work. We're going to do this one more time, y'all. Y'all show the same amount of love as we move this thing forward. Y'all please welcome Janae to the stage.
I don't have a lot of material things. I got one pair of jeans. These are it. My glasses, taped by the left ear, had this pair for over 4 years. As for shoes, I just gave myself a third pair for personal wear. I want to be cool, look like you, be like you. But last year, I came to Raleigh with 1 carload of belongings. 2 cats and a mattress. I still ain't got a box spring or a bed frame. I'm paying off the last $1,000 I spent on my ex, trying to get our house right, trying to take care of our life. Now look at my life. I ain't got much in the way of material things. Just a lot of poems and a heartbeat. Thank God for making me homeless in my 20s so I could understand how blessed this new beginning really is. That my lack of furnishing or my room being a mess is still under the same roof as my bed and my food, how my pets too. I'm blessed to be alive, to have survived. My suicide attempts are in the double digits. I was always held back by something unseen, like a finger guarding the trigger, or a hand on my throat protecting me from plastic's chokehold, a grip on my shirt when I was drowning in my bathroom. God been with me. God never let me give up. I prayed for an end, and he prayed I get up. Every time I said enough, he demanded I keep showing up through trials and life's fucked up way. It's present day, 2023. God leaves a bouquet of hope on my nightstand. The card attached reads, "Here are your flowers. I'll be sending more, I promise. A gift for all your good deeds, the return of all your karma." He lifts me up from the bed, and this year I have been my most honest. On paper, on a mic, on a stage under bright lights, and I didn't die. I know God made me just as ruggedly beautiful so that he could use me to help someone else feeling lost, hopeless, down on themselves. I know why I'm here, so I keep showing up in my 1 pair of jeans and my broken glasses, with memoirs of self-harm, with scars both fresh and old, with God's hands on my shoulders. And I know my material belongings may be 1 carload of baggage, but my soul is an auditorium full of riches.
Come on, judges. Let's raise the scores. What you got? What you got? All right, 1, 2, 3. Hold on. Boom. All right. For low to high, we have a 9.2. A 9.9. And and that is a 29.9. Oh, shit. Okay, hold on for a second.
How y'all doing? Y'all doing all right? All right. I'm going to let them finish, but I need y'all to shout out my brother right now. How many of y'all going to the Marsha Ambrosius concert, the Soul Series? Oh, shit. Here's the problem. The Sign of Hanu is opening for Marsha Ambrosia. Do y'all hear what you? The Sign of Hanu is opening for Marsha Ambrosia. This guy here. If you go on his Facebook page, we have a $5 link on his page. Go on Ticketmaster, put in Unlock, City Soul, put in Lock. Go get your tickets, sit in any section you want. But I'm telling you, the Sign of Hanu is opening for Marsha Ambrosia. Y'all give it up for the Piedmont Poet Laureate. Yes, I'm going to celebrate you all day, bro. That's what we supposed to do.
That's great. I'm trying to handle business. I just can't do it while you talking. Hold, please. All right. We're going to have to. All right. Wow. You know, I love Slam. And this is a pretty amazing circumstance that we have here. So unfortunately, I'm going to call a set of poets back over to talk to me real quick. Y'all just hold on. Y'all hold on for a second. Hold on. Just I promise you it's a beautiful thing, but hold on. I'm going to come back. All right. So I need these poets to meet me over there. Can I have Breeze, Hassan, Tamia, LB, and Asian A to meet me over here real quick, please? Sit tight. All right, y'all. We got it fixed. We got it worked out. So, are you ready to find out who is on your 2023 Bull City Slam team? All right. So, we have a third place tie, but that's okay. That is irrelevant to y'all. So, y'all, please welcome Tamia with 86.3. Tamia, you need to come to the stage. You know how we do. You know you got to come get this picture. Come on. Come on. And while she's coming, y'all please welcome LB. Then please welcome Hassan. And our 2023 Grand Slam champion, y'all please give it up for Breeze. I want y'all, hold on. Line back up. Let's get through this first. We'll have that moment later. You come up here first. So this is Bree Valais, the poet, an amazing poet. He's got books and all those great things you should make sure to ask him about. He came all the way down here from Richmond, Virginia. Y'all make some noise for coming all the way down. But he is family. He has been slamming here over the years for many years. And actually, as a representative of the Jambalaya Soul Slam, this brother right here was the individual World Poetry Slam champion in 2019. Champion of the world! So we're so glad that he was able to come through this year and have this moment. You know, there's been a couple of opportunities for him to be on the stage in finals, and now he gets to join this Bull City family. So we're excited about that. So y'all welcome to show him some Durham love. Yes, you can put the horns together. Yes, you can. You can now throw the horns up. All right. So, what we're going to do is this is the moment for taking pictures and what have you. It is a slam tradition for me to take a picture. So if y'all all stand across the stage, let me take the picture. Let me take the picture. Let me take the picture. I'm sorry. Y'all can look this way. Yes, yes. Okay. Throw them bulls up. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Poets, all four of y'all, make sure y'all do not leave without me talking to y'all. And thank y'all so much, man. Y'all give them a round of applause. I will talk to y'all out in the lobby. We appreciate y'all all coming out and support. Judges, if before you leave, if you could just bring me your scoreboards and markers and erasers. Y'all be safe. Make sure to stay tuned. BullCityPoetrySlam.com, HayTi, HAYTI.org. Stay tuned in April. And for what we have coming in May, we have some very special things planned, and we want y'all to come back and be a part of it. Y'all be safe going home. Talk to a poet. Let them know how much you appreciate them. Thank you so much. All right. Thank y'all so much. Hey, Janae, when you get done talking to people, come talk to me real quick.